Greetings, this is Astrologer Pam Younghans, and here is my forecast for the week of August 8th to 14th, 2022. In addition to the heat of the Uranus-Mars alignment, which continues for another week or so, we may be starting to feel a sense of déjà vu, observing that situations from the not-too-distant past seem to be repeating in some way. This is likely due to the return in August of two aspects that have contributed to major events over the past couple of years. The Pluto-Ceres square, in effect 2020 and 2021, and the Saturn-Uranus square, which was strong throughout 2021. Both of these challenging aspects are again within orb, active range, and will be influencing earthly affairs for the next 2 to 3 months. The core theme represented by the Pluto-Ceres square is antagonism between those who wield power and those who feel their individual rights are being disregarded. Ceres especially is a defender of women's rights, the angry feminine. Its influence, as it aligned with rebellious Uranus in 2016 and 2017, manifested as the Me Too movement and the Women's March in January 2017. When Pluto is involved in a hard aspect, we can usually expect power struggles to emerge that reveal the dark side of the participants. Ultimately, hidden agendas and motivations emerge into the light, enabling deep transformation of the issues that cause the conflict. Over the course of 2020-2021, every time the Pluto-Ceres square perfected a total of 5 times, there was a corresponding peak in C19 cases, as well as in the backlash against governmental restrictions put in place to control the pandemic. Pluto and Ceres hover within 2 degrees of their precise square from August 5th to November 5th. During these weeks, we are likely to see a resurgence of the battles and demonstrations for individual rights, especially for women's rights and gender equality. The square between Saturn and Uranus was strong throughout 2021. Saturn is a symbol of authority and governance. Uranus represents the individual's need for freedom and autonomy. Throughout last year, news headlines repeatedly spoke of the vast divide between government regulations and personal liberties. Right now, Saturn and Uranus are within 4 degrees of being exactly square, and thus the influence of that aspect is building once again. The 2 planets will be within 1 degree of the square by September 14th, and remain within 2 degrees of the square through early November. This week, we may see specific examples of how the Saturn-Uranus square will play out in current time. The Sun will act as a trigger, activating the energies of that longer-term aspect as it squares Uranus on Thursday and opposes Saturn on Sunday. The current lunar cycle reaches a climax this Thursday. The full moon occurs at 6:35 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on August 11th, when the moon is at 22 degrees 5 minutes of Aquarius and opposite the sun at the same degree of Leo. Emotions are always heightened at the time of a full moon, and even though the moon will be in objective Aquarius on Thursday, its aspect to other planets point to unstable conditions. At the time of the lunation, the moon is conjunct Saturn and also square both Mars and Uranus. In other words, this full moon will be activating the energies of the Saturn-Uranus square and also the effects of the Mars-Uranus alignment. As this full moon takes effect, we are likely to be dealing with erratic behaviors and changes that disrupt our sense of stability and order. With the sun in proud Leo, people may react with great drama or use intimidation to try to control others. Think of the cowardly lion at the beginning of The Wizard of Oz, as he roared loudly, attempting to rule his kingdom through intimidation. One of our challenges with this full moon is, instead, to be that same character as he appeared at the end of the story, heart-centered, magnanimous, generous, self-confident, and a true leader. Other challenges with this full moon involve knowing where to rebel against the status quo and where to accept limitations. We are asked to apply reason, patience, and discipline, Saturn, but also be flexible, innovative, and open to change, Uranus. And on top of that, we are instructed to use our assertive nature, Mars, responsibly. Here's my list of this week's important planetary aspects, along with my brief interpretations of each. On Monday, the Sun is trine Chiron. It is important to take time for self-care today through giving yourself the opportunity to play and enjoy the present moment. Imagining the ease of life as a carefree child without adult responsibilities, even for a short time, can have healing effect. Also on Monday, Venus is opposite Pluto. Relationship issues intensify with this aspect, especially if there is already disharmony brewing. Resentments, possessiveness, and territorial disputes come to the surface to be addressed. On Tuesday, Mercury is quincunx Jupiter. Communications do not flow easily today, as people either tend to exaggerate or quickly descend into blame and accusation. Also on Tuesday, Mars is semisquare Jupiter. Actions are taken without much forethought. Anger manifests as stubborn resistance. There is a battle of wills over who is right and who is wrong. On Wednesday, the Sun is square the nodal axis. This represents a need for approval or attention, which can undermine our ability to be grounded and centered. On Thursday, Jupiter is trine Ceres. The energy of this trine enables us to focus on what brings us and others joy and nourishment. Also on Thursday, the Sun is square Uranus. Surprising events or unconventional behaviors can be disorienting. And Mercury is sesquiquadrate Pluto. Speaking impulsively can exacerbate power struggles. Be aware of an unconscious need to control and manipulate through words. Venus enters Leo on Thursday. Venus will be in Leo from August 11th to September 5th. During these 3 weeks, relationships thrive when we are able to enjoy the present moment rather than focusing on the future. Leo encourages us to express warmth and generosity in our dealings with others, but also can increase the need to be seen and admired. These traits may lead to grand, dramatic, or romantic gestures. Mars is sextile Neptune on Thursday. Actions are guided by compassion and idealism. The ego works in harmony with the spirit. And the full moon occurs at 6:35 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on Thursday. This full moon is a powerful one, as it activates the energies of both the Saturn-Uranus square and the Mars-Uranus alignment. There are no major aspects exact on Friday and Saturday. On Sunday, the Sun is opposite Saturn. This aspect represents a reality check when the results of our choices earlier in the week become apparent. There may be delays in achieving our goals, and feelings of insecurity may arise. Also on Sunday, Mercury is quincunx Chiron. Conversations may not flow smoothly today. Whether or not they are intended as such, our words may be perceived as being critical or demeaning. And on Sunday, Mars is trine Pluto. The desire for change can feel especially urgent with this trine, as the planets of personal will and empowerment work together in harmony. We are determined to eliminate that which has been standing in the way of progress toward a goal. If your birthday is this week, your life circumstances are very changeable this year, and yet you may find yourself resisting making the changes that are needed. Forward progress is start and stop, with detours that may cause frustration. Be sure to give yourself outlets for the stress, such as through physical activity. You are in the process of healing your knowing that it is okay to ask for what you want and to pursue your own desires. This is Astrologer Pam Younghans wishing you an inspired week. Thank you for being with me on this journey.
We hope that you have enjoyed this article. For over 30 years, we at Inner Self have sought to encourage new attitudes and new possibilities. For more inspiration, visit us at innerself.com. Thank you. Visit the Inner Self Market for new attitudes and new possibilities. You'll find inspiring books, wonderful music CDs, audiobooks, card decks, candles, jewelry, gifts, all kinds of wonderful things. Visit us at market.innerself.com.